one of the other things we were looking at is the 10-year Treasury. So 10-year Treasury is on a clear upward trend. It broke out over a 40-year downward trend. What? So why should people care about this 10-year Treasury? Why does this matter?
So we'll throw up an image of this chart, and the image is it's a powerful image. I think you don't have to be a charting expert to see this. It's a downtrend. So the 10-year Treasury peaked in the early 1980s, and until about a year or 2 years ago, it was on this clear downward trend. It's like the 5-year-old could see this on a chart, and it broke out, meaning the trend reversed, and now we're marching back up. There's, I think, a general assumption that rates will go back down and will continue in this area of lower interest rates. But if you look at interest rates over hundreds of years, this is very common where you have these debt and interest rate cycles that can take very long time. It can take 50, 60 years. It's just very hard for the average person to see because it's hard to have context of something that's outside your lifetime. And when you look at this chart, you look at it's clear that the trend is broken, going back up. And to imagine that interest rates in the US could be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13% is just, it's unimaginable. But if you look at this chart, that is absolutely where we're headed. So the 10-year is very important. So let me explain in very simple terms why the 10-year is important. The 10-year Treasury is basically how much return on your investment the US government will give you in 10 years. Very simple. So in 10 years, it's quite a long time for an investor. The percentage rate on the 10-year note is a really good indicator because it basically shows what people expect for the US to be doing 10 years from now. And if the interest rate's going up, it means the general investor trusts the US less and less. The lender wants a higher return on their capital because they think 10 years from now it's going to be worse than it is right now. So that's why the 10-year is at about 5%. So let's fast forward to 2026, 2027. Let's say our debt situation gets worse. Let's say that our economy gets worse. And let's say that there's maybe some more global conflict. This 10-year note is going to go up higher and higher because investors are going to realize I don't trust giving my money to the US government because they can't manage their own books. They're printing money, they're spending money all over the place. They got, wars that are wasting money. I'd rather lend my money to a creditor that's more trustworthy. So I think the idea that the 10-year note is peaking right now, like we were up at 5%. Oh, there's no way it can go above 5%. I think it's complete horse shit. I think it could totally go higher than anybody could possibly imagine to a scary zone above 10%. I'm not predicting that. I'm just saying I think that could happen if we don't get this debt situation under control. And we're not going to get this debt situation under control without serious austerity measures or severe financial pain for the general US population. And I don't think any politician wants to do that, straight up. I just don't think they'll do it. Not even Trump. Nobody wants to do that. They're not willing to put the US population through that type of pain. Scary.
It 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 is scary. And back to like the real estate side of things. Um, what are you predicting on the real estate side of things?
So it's a great question.
And
Yeah.
by predicting, by like your decision making.
So I got a friend who's building a house nearby. It's a mega home. It's on the market right now for $38 million, and he's like a spec home builder. I sent him an article the other day. It was in the Wall Street Journal, which was that wealthy Americans are parking their capital in luxury high-end real estate. I would say a $38 million home is probably in that category. And
Yeah.
to answer your question specifically, I think there is that part of the investors' mindset and U.S. real estate, which is people are parking their money in very high-end real estate because they think that U.S. real estate in that category is going to maintain value over the long term. So if I have $38 million in cash, am I going to leave in the bank account or leave in this real estate? People are in that category generally choosing to put it into real estate. On the opposite end of the spectrum, let's say homes in the several $100,000 range, I think there could be trouble there. And the reason why is because most of those homes are correlated to the W-2, the paycheck person, which is if I have money coming in and I can only afford a certain amount to pay my mortgage and interest rates continue to tick up, I can afford less and less and less. So if and by the way, the inventory of homes on this lower end, the inventory of homes at the $500,000 or less mark compared to these super luxurious homes is like, it's apples and oranges, right? It's probably like a 99-to-1 ratio. There's a huge inventory of these lower priced homes. So if these lower priced homes are directly correlated to interest rates and the ability for the W-2 wage earner to purchase these homes, and there's no ability or way for these people to purchase these homes outside of traditional mortgage, we're gonna have a serious problem. I could see those real estate prices coming down significantly. So it's kind of like a tale of two scenarios. Uh,
Mhm.
and you know, no one has a crystal ball, but I think we'll see some gridlock for a bit longer until something breaks, and it will be on the lower end priced homes.